In the desolate expanse where conflict lines blurred, hostile forces launched their assault against entrenched defensive positions. Armored behemoths, fortified with innovative countermeasures, lumbered towards a beleaguered settlement, entering the engagement parameters of defending artillery. Precise retaliatory strikes from defenders momentarily disrupted the aggressor's momentum. Earth trembled as explosions blossomed, but the onslaught refused to halt. These defensive barrages bought invaluable moments, allowing specialized aerial reconnaissance units to rapidly deploy. From hidden launch points, teams swiftly dispatched agile unmanned aerial vehicles into turbulent skies. These silent hunters, equipped with advanced targeting systems, began their grim task of neutralizing encroaching armored assets. The lead pilot, demonstrating exceptional skill, guided their craft with surgical precision. Fortune favored their audacious maneuver as the drone found its mark with devastating accuracy. Missing its companion's incapacitation, the second armored unit attempted desperate evasive maneuvers, seeking refuge behind the smoldering wreck. However, efforts proved futile. Another aerial asset, guided by an equally skilled operator, swiftly intercepted its trajectory, delivering a crippling blow that resonated across the battlefield. Neutralizing two formidable machines was merely the prelude. A fresh wave of aerial predators was being readied for their next devastating sortie. The aggressors' advanced anti-drone defenses proved formidable, but defenders' operators demonstrated equally profound mastery, turning each engagement into a dynamic chess match of innovation and counter-innovation. The Vanguard armored vehicle absorbed an astonishing number of direct impacts, requiring more than 3 before its operational capacity was extinguished. The second vehicle following in its path met similar fate, succumbing to relentless aerial assault. The entire advancing column found itself ensnared in a tempest of strikes, vehicles systematically dismantled one by one. Consider this monstrous creation of the aggressors. In desperate bid to enhance survivability, engineers encased the primary hull in dense metallic cabling. This novel improvised protection presented formidable challenges, potentially requiring up to 10 aerial assets to breach. Nevertheless, the economic disparity remains stark. Aerial asset cost paled compared to neutralized equipment value. Given its apparent efficacy, such adaptive protective measures would become increasingly prevalent on aggressors' armored vehicles, signaling a new phase in the technological struggle. In another sector, armored units attempted high-speed penetration of fortified lines. However, specialized aerial teams positioned in pre-planned kill zones maintained discipline, holding fire until the column committed fully before unleashing devastating attacks. This calculated patience ensured maximum impact. One must commend the defenders' exceptional tactical acumen. The resulting strike exploited critical vulnerabilities in aggressors' situational awareness. Sensing inevitable doom, personnel rapidly abandoned their vehicle. In unexpected fortune, the aerial operator observed fleeing crew had left the primary access hatch ajar. Striking from within remains the most efficient method for neutralizing heavily armored targets. The immediate aftermath left no doubt about this approach's efficacy. Unparalleled piloting skill, combined with serendipity, culminated in explosive outcomes that spoke volumes. From the offensive's first moments, aggressors confronted profound miscalculations of their capabilities. Following futile attempts to breach fortified woodland positions, they resorted to deploying specialized engineering vehicles typically designated for mine-clearing operations. This desperate measure underscored severe logistical constraints and critical ammunition shortages. Despite relentless barrages, defenders remained unyielding, their resolve unbroken. Meticulously prepared fortified positions proved impervious to desperate dislodging attempts. For protracted periods, engagement devolved into brutal stalemate. Both sides exchanged devastating fire without decisive advantage. In desperate gambit to tip scales, aggressors committed heavy flamethrower multiple launch rocket systems of immense destructive potential. However, Defender's intelligence network intercepted critical communications. Timely warnings reached forward units about impending cataclysm. With minutes to spare, forces executed rapid coordinated withdrawal from exposed positions, demonstrating superior command and control. Unaware of tactical retreat, aggressors continued devastating bombardment, their meticulously planned assault now tragic futility. Precise targeting ironically transformed them into ideal prey. From skies, aerial assets descended, not merely to safeguard comrades, but delivered decisive blows against foolishly exposed high-value targets. Operations commenced with surgical neutralization of multiple engineering vehicles using precision-guided munitions. Moments later, agile assets intercepted rocket launchers caught in desperate withdrawal attempts. While operators maintained tactical distance from front lines, their missions remained fraught with peril. Both factions actively hunt these skilled pilots, with most vulnerable moments occurring during personnel rotations when enemies exploit vigilance lapses. In recent incidents, forces narrowly averted disaster, spotting incoming hostile assets just in time. All personnel emerged unscathed, vehicles remaining operational despite being shaken. In another engagement, two armored vehicles attempted rapid penetration, but their audacious plan unraveled within moments. Precision strikes crippled lead vehicles, causing drivers to lose control and crash into dense tree lines. Second aerial assets arrived with impeccable timing, executing flawless targeting maneuvers against stationary vulnerable targets. Resulting explosions inflicted significant damage, though additional decisive impacts were required for full neutralization. With initial targets incapacitated, assets swiftly redirected attention to companions. They didn't escape far. Subsequent waves rapidly closed distances, delivering crippling first strikes, rendering them immobile. Targeted impacts completed destruction, while some crew fled into surrounding woodland, their long-term survival chances negligible without support. Not long ago, specialized tethered aerial assets transmitting via fiber optic cables were battlefield rarities. Now they've become increasingly common. While operationally range-limited, they possess crucial advantages. Signals remain uncompromised even within densest forest environments. Recent demonstrations showed operators skillfully approaching hidden ammunition caches, orchestrating complete destruction with remarkable precision. Similarly, operators successfully approached heavily camouflaged armored vehicles deliberately concealed and believed impervious to aerial threats. While precise methods remain unconfirmed given technical specifications, crews likely undertook considerable risks maneuvering within striking distance. Occasionally, precision-guided munitions fail detonating upon impact. Egregious instances, aggressors' forces dragged unexploded ordnance directly into fortified positions, anticipating no adverse consequences. This monumental misjudgment proved fatal. Subsequent delayed detonations unleashed catastrophic explosions, leaving no trace of defensive works. Due to severe equipment shortages, heavy armored vehicle destruction became less frequent. However, civilian transport vehicles and logistical trucks remain equally critical targets. Single aerial asset costs dramatically lower than any ground vehicle. Considering these frequently transport invaluable cargo like ammunition supplies or newly delivered assets destined for aggressors' units, targeting every equipment piece entering operational purview becomes strategically imperative. Indeed, agile aerial assets now account for overwhelming majority of vehicle losses on both conflict sides. Nevertheless, time-tested conventional methodologies retain enduring efficacy. Reconnaissance assets recently identified concealed personnel groups alongside specialized military transport vehicles designed for towing heavy artillery and transporting vital munitions. This engagement resulted not from aerial assets, but precise artillery strikes delivered from impressive 13-kilometer distance. Projectiles impacted rear compartments, immediately igniting volatile stored ammunition. On that point, it was merely observing infernos consume targets, gradually reducing vehicles and invaluable cargo to smoldering wrecks. In separate incidents, personnel narrowly avoided catastrophic outcomes, spotting incoming hostile assets just in time. Individuals attempted neutralizing threats with small arms fire, though regrettably missing marks. Vehicles were swiftly engulfed in flames, but thanks to exceptional situational awareness and rapid reactions, all escaped without injury.